Well, hello again and welcome to Roland's Reviews. So glad to have you back again here on the channel. Welcoming all of you back. Some of my largest supporters, Cha-Cha, Florida, of course, Ruby, Lisa, all of you who are here, just know that it is greatly appreciated. Now, you know that I started talking about this particular incident last Sunday. Now, if you go onto the internet and type in uh, uh, this Tyson laying off American workers to hire immigrants, now all of these liberal uh, news sources are saying that it is fake news, is what they're saying. So you may not be able to get accurate information. You know that I do extensive research, and so you'll get it here. How are you, Stephen? Uh, so I wanted to, this is sort of a follow up to what we did last week. Again, I was typing in the boycott. How you doing, Gina? And they were, I don't know if you know, those of you who are on the internet frequently, if something is deemed to be false or misleading, there's a little addendum. And so now, if you type this in, it says that it's untrue. So most of you who are here like me, you're already familiar with the tricks and the lies of the mainstream media. Don't believe it. So this is our commentary to get started, folks. We started talking about this last week with Tyson, and of course they closed the Perry, Iowa plant, laying off more than 1,200 American workers, and they're going to hire it. They want to hire all of these illegal immigrants, and so now there's a lot so-called the truth that we're giving you is being called misinformation. So I don't make this stuff up. I wanted to share some videos with you. And again, I go to more than one source. So listen to this, and I'll be answering your questions in the comment section. Okay. So listen to this. And again, I use more than one source, but now Tyson, of course, is in damage control mode because they know we're going to Bud Light them. Okay, Americans aren't standing for this. They're going to get the Bud Light treatment, which is what they deserve. Listen to this, folks.
Grappling with a massive migrant crisis in the U.S., and apparently Tyson Foods is just laying off 1,200 to 1,300 workers at their Perry, Iowa plant, which is closing on June 28th. Those people are not going to be getting jobs anymore, and I think right now most employees are trying to find their next job. But now they're hiring 52,000 migrants for many of their factories in New York. People are saying boycott Tyson Foods, and here are all the brands. Basically, a lot of them, right? People might be with a massive migrant crisis in the U.S.
Folks, earlier, before most of you came in, I did share a link. If you scroll up, it's a website. It's Tyson's website. All of the brands that are up under the Tyson umbrella. Be sure to steer clear of those items. Okay, here we go.
Which is closing on June 28th. Those people are not going to be getting jobs anymore, and I think right now most employees are trying to find their next job. But now they're hiring 52,000 migrants for many of their factories in New York. People are saying boycott Tyson Foods, and here are all the brands. Basically, a lot of them, right? People buy these brands on a daily basis. It's a very, very American brand, like Ballpark, for example. But right now, many Americans are really, really feeling disconnected from a lot of this migrant crisis stuff. Okay, when you're firing 1,200 American employees and then hiring a bunch of migrants, this doesn't really sit well with a lot of Americans. Right now, many Americans are kind of sick and tired of the migrant crisis. It's costing cities just billions of dollars. Many cities are also collapsing. We're also seeing not enough job permits for all the migrants. We're seeing not enough jobs in general for just the domestic citizens. the U.S. is having a massive inflow of migrants, and there's really nothing to stop this massive inflow right now. And yeah, no wonder many Americans, especially people who lived here for decades and decades, they're very unhappy and they're very, very frustrated that Tyson will even pull something like this. Now, here's the thing. Tyson Foods denies ditching American workers from their closing plant and then hiring migrants instead. But many Americans don't really believe it and feel like Tyson Foods is still going to be doing this. And this is why many people are going on Twitter recently doing a Tyson's food boycott. Even not just consumers. A fund manager, a multi-million-dollar fund manager, is actually diversifying himself from Tyson Foods stock over the firing of U.S. workers. Guys, have you seen what happened to Bud Light? Their stock absolutely cratered. Same thing with Target. During that whole fiasco, the stock actually dropped a lot. Recently, it rebounded, but before it dropped. Same thing right here, right? When you start having Americans started catching on, start seeing news headlines like these, it really does make them a lot frustrated. And there's even a lot of talks right now. Go on TikTok, go on Instagram, go on X. Many people are talking about boycotting Tyson Foods. And yes, Tyson has a humongous reach on a lot of like the meats and produce industry in the US, but they don't own every single brand. There's several brands out there who have just done regular stuff. So let's see what happens here. And it's also conflicting as well because many people are showing off evidence and many news sites are also showing off evidence that Tyson Foods is doing this. But for some reason, recently, just yesterday, they denied doing this. So I'm not really sure what's going on. At the end of the day, many Americans are just kind of sick and tired of the migrant crisis. Even people in New York City right now are very upset from just not receiving the same benefits as the migrants. Many New York City citizens, they're saying that the migrants get $13, $14 a day on prepaid debit cards, whereas the EBT SNAP benefits for Americans like $7 to $8-ish.
Yeah.
They've given migrants free checks and credit cards. He has to stand there begging for money. Think about that as a citizen. All the guy has is Social Security. He can't live with that. You see Times Square, it's basically like a third world country.
Yep.
So definitely watch some of these interviews on X, some of these interviews on YouTube. It's super interesting to see how many of the average everyday citizens are kind of sick and tired of what a lot of these sanctuary cities are cooking up. And by the way, I'll keep you guys updated on the whole Tyson Foods drama here, because if this turns out to be 100% true, it would...
So from everything that my research, it is, and I like I said, I actually use more than one source. I actually first heard of this this article, this info on Fox News Business, okay? And then I researched from there. Now, those of you just coming into the chat, please hit the little thumb, that like button. Those of you who have Facebook and other forms of social media, please, please, please share this information out. If you weren't here earlier, how you doing, Ben? Andrew Darnell. If you weren't here earlier, what's happening is Tyson is in damage control mode, and they are denying that this has happened. So, again, you're going to have to decide who you're going to believe and who you're going to listen to. First of all, AP, Associated Press, of course, all of the other liberal media outlets are denying it. We know why. Excuse me. How you doing, James? So Andrew says, did everyone see them break through the fence at the board? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. How you doing, Mark Holmes? Everybody say hello to Mark from the Joe Blue Sports Report. I'll be over there at 5 o'clock, Mark. Ruby. So again, folks, now when you type this subject matter into Google, Firefox, whatever search engine you're using, now they're trying to say, oh, this isn't happening. So I'm going to share something else with you. Excuse me. Excuse me for that. And now that we're trying to Bud Light Tyson, we know Bud Light lost millions of dollars. Well, Tyson's going to face the same consequences. Listen to this, folks. And then we're going to continue to talk about it.
Well, over 1,000 Tyson Food employees will lose their jobs in June. The company announcing they are shutting down their plant in Perry. And that is where we find our Dana Cereals live. Dana, what have you learned so far?
Well, Stephanie, this is the largest business in this city, and it has thousands of employees who work here. These employees tell me that this has come as a total shock to them. Many of them came into work this morning, saw a few corporate managers walking through, didn't think anything of it, but then later were informed through emails, letters, and meetings in person that thousands of them will be left without a job on June 28th. That is when the business is officially closing its doors. And I spoke with the mayor of Perry, who tells me that their first priority is to help the people who lost their jobs, and they plan to have conversations with Tyson tomorrow morning. Lawmakers add that they are disappointed in this closure. I spoke with an employee who has worked there for over 30 years. He says he is hurting right now for everyone.
I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be like, but I know from what I've heard, there's a lot of people in tears, which I am almost right now, just thinking about it. Just so many people have given their heart and soul out there, and to have this happen just out of the blue, it's crazy.
Now, the city administrator tells me that another priority they have is to start reaching out to businesses and find somebody to help fill this spot when that closure does come. Coming up at 6, I'll tell you more about the closure, as well as more about how employees found out about this and how they're feeling. But for now, live in Perry, Dana Cereals, Local 5 News.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about some very sad news, okay? Some news that you really hate to hear about in small town America, which is when jobs leave, okay? And that is what we have to talk about, as Tyson Foods, a big American meat packer, producer, has decided to shut down a pork plant in Perry, Iowa, okay? And that means over 1,000 hardworking Americans are going to be losing their jobs. And this is a town that has struggled with murders, drownings, suicides, and other problems. So when you talk about a major company leaving, okay, and you talk about thousands of jobs leaving the area, that is not good. That is the last thing that...
And we've been talking, if you've been on this channel in the last few months, this is the great replacement, folks. Americans are being replaced. Whether you want to believe it or not, that's what is happening, okay? Some places a little faster than others. So a big investor is pulling out. So again, when I come on here, even if you Google this subject matter and you see, oh, this is not true, just know Tyson is in damage control. This is a PR move. They know this makes them look bad. They are going to receive the Bud Light treatment, which they should. So there's a big investor pulling out of their investment with Tyson. Tyson's on a rampage trying to say, oh, this was misinformation. This wasn't true. This story is becoming more and more difficult to find. And like I said, even if you type it in, it's saying, oh, this is misinformation. American Conservative Values, which trades on the New York Stock Exchange as ACVF, you can look that up, has announced it's divested its holdings in Tyson. And initiated a quote refuse to buy rating, and so it's already started. So now Tyson is trying to backpedal. Let me see if I miss your comments, folks. I'm trying to keep up. We know this is a smoke screen. Tyson knows what is coming next. Again, yes, they're going to receive the Bud Light treatment. So you can look up ACVF. They decided to divest their holdings in Tyson's Food Incorporated after they did a comprehensive review, after this came out. And so the ETF, the American Conservative Values, telling people this is not what we stand for. And so, hey, let's Bud Light Tyson. The sad thing is they have so many brands up under the Tyson name. You may not even realize it until it's too late, that it's a Tyson product. So when the companies try to make the American consumers feel guilty, so what they try to do is say, well, if you don't buy our products, Americans are going to lose their jobs. Newsflash, Americans are already losing their jobs. So don't fall for that. And Bill Gates purchased a massive amount of shares in Bud Light when they were going through their hard times. So keep that in mind. We already know about Bill Gates and what he's all about. So let's listen to some more of this.
Small town like Perry needs. And again, it's basically disaster, right? It's a disaster scenario for the hardworking Americans in that small town. And it's kind of crazy that this is happening because the mainstream media and the Democrat Party have been telling us that the economy is great. This is a booming economy, the best economy ever. However, Tyson has shut down 6 plants over the past year as there's been a drop in demand for some of its products. So once again, we're doing another story about a major company having to cut costs by cutting jobs, okay? Shutting down facilities, closing stores, whatever you want to call it. We've covered so many of these stories, but yet it's supposed to be an economic boom, right? Everything is supposed to be so great in the Biden economy. This is just more proof and evidence that you are being lied to by the Biden administration when it comes to the current state of the economy, okay? Because Tyson is really trying to cut costs, okay? To the point where they allegedly are looking to hire upwards of 52,000 illegal immigrants to fill some of their factory jobs. And this is pissing a lot of people off, okay? Because Tyson is saying that, well, we want to allow some of the asylum seekers that came through New York City to work for us after Biden granted work authorization permits to these individuals after the Democrat mayors of these sanctuary cities like New York and Chicago begged the Biden administration to allow the illegals to work. Okay, so Tyson is stepping up and saying, okay, we will hire some cheap labor, okay, and allow them to work for us. And of course, this is pissing some people off to the point where there are major calls for a boycott against Tyson for their decision to fire hardworking Americans and to then subsequently move to hire illegal immigrants. Again, this is pissing people off to the point where, again, there are calls for boycott. Take a look.
So the un-American food company Tyson, the boycott continues. We're about to Bud Light you. Yeah, we're gonna hit your profit significantly. You thought it would be okay to fire 1,300 Americans so that you can process in 5,200 illegal immigrants into the Tyson food plant because you want cheaper labor? You're not focusing on Americans now. So the offer for these illegal immigrants or asylum seekers is that they have a job and a lawyer. So this seeking lower wages, we have seen this before in our past and it did not work out well then. So I highly suggest you good folks not buy Tyson products anymore.
So Tyson Chicken keeps digging themselves in a deeper hole and getting into more shit than they can handle. Because right now, we're preparing for another boycott, but of Tyson Chicken Company completely.
So again, folks, I'm listening to the people who actually work in the plant. I'm not listening to the mainstream media and the lies that they're spreading. So how you doing, Steve, and all of you, the old bag? Just by Smithfield Meats, right. So, yeah, they know the Bud Light treatment's coming. And, folks, that's what we have to do. They're trying to replace Americans, whether you want to believe it or not. It's coming to a town, a city near you, eventually. So you may be avoiding it now, but you see what the Democrats are doing. So let me get back to my commentary. The ETF, let me give you this Pew Research poll. 80% of Americans say the U.S. government is doing a horrible job in managing the migrant crisis, of course, which they created. Also, make sure you know Tyson's also planning to close other facilities and hire illegal immigrants for cheaper labor. The Biden administration says if you want a border wall, so that was part of that bill. You can get a wall, but I need more money for all these wars that I'm helping to fund. So, guys, we know he has no intentions of putting up a wall. So you can Google this guy, Tom Carter, ACVF president and co-founder, says that their principal boycott should reflect concerns within the conservative community, and using migrants to replace Americans, and that's what's going on. This is you're being replaced, Americans. Period. Okay, what do the Democrats do for Americans? Nothing. So he says that, and these are his exact words. Using migrants to replace Americans gives the stream of illegal workers, of course, more incentive to keep crossing the border illegally. Securing the border should be America's #1 priority for safety purposes. Yes, it should be. And he says it's a moral imperative to stop and roll back the Democrats' takeover of corporate America. Okay, again, Budweiser found out the hard way. We need to make sure Tyson feels that as well. Okay? So keep that in mind. And Tyson, check this out. Tyson is blaming social media for spreading misleading, inaccurate information. How is the truth misleading? Type it in the comment section. And so, again, Tyson's in full damage control. This is PR, right? Public relations. They thought they were going to do this and no one was going to say anything and life would be good. No, you're going to have to suffer financially. That's all they understand. Fridge, classic corporate greed. Fridge gets it. Yeah. Classic corporate greed is at stake here. Andrew, yeah, guys, hit the like button. Laura, how are you? They got a border wall all around the White House. Exactly, Laura. Andrew said, make Chick-fil-A feel it. Okay, McDonald's. Yeah, all of these. So it's very difficult when, Tyson Foods are an American staple on a daily basis. So you're really going to have to do your research. Ruby said Burger King and Taco Bell as well. Yes, Ruby. Peace to you. How are you? All the changes in November with a vote for President Trump or even RFK Jr. Okay, Fridge Reaver. The truth is misleading because we're not supposed to unmask the bad guys and try to stop them. Right. Like I told you guys, I go to more than one source. And if those of you just coming in, how you doing, Snoodle Girl? YouTuber videos, how to make Chick-fil-A at home. Okay, Snoodle Girl, yeah. And so, if you guys, how you doing, Jacqueline? If you guys type this subject matter into the internet, it's going to tell you that it's misleading and that Tyson did not do this. I'm telling you already, okay? As I was researching, now if you weren't here last week, go back and check my video. I did the video last week on Tyson firing these American workers, right? And hiring over 52,000 migrants. So now if you type that in, it's saying, oh, that's not accurate. That's not true. So again, you're going to have to decipher through the lies. I went to AP. I even shared some links with you. When I end this live, look at the links in the description box. ABC, AP, they're saying that it's not true. I don't listen to anything. We all know all of those left-wing news outlets, they're liberal-leaning. They're not going to, when have you known them to tell the truth? When is a liberal telling lies? When his lips are moving. Okay? So keep that in mind, folks. And if you're on here and you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you're on here and you have social media, share this on your Facebook, your Instagram, your other various forms of social media. Folks, I cannot get this information out by myself. And again, if someone's just going to ABC, CBS, AP, Reuters, they're all liberal outlets. Yahoo, They're all liberal outlets. You're not going to get the truth. Snoodle. I went to the store yesterday for chicken. Tyson not moving off the shelf. Snoodle girl gets it. Yes, that we are bud lighting them. They have to learn. You're not going to treat American citizens this way and have us roll over and play dead. No. And now they're in full panic mode because they know they're being boycotted. Now they're trying to backpedal, right? And say that, oh no, we were never going to do that. When you're having secret meetings in New York, Chicago, setting up job fairs, why don't you do that for Americans? And then you hear people say, oh, Americans don't want these jobs. Americans had these jobs until they were fired or laid off. What do you mean they don't want those jobs? If people aren't smart enough to see, and I was so happy. I was looking at a video before I started this live. Black and white Chicagoans are coming together and calling Brandon Johnson, the mayor, on his nonsense. Okay? They're coming to, again, if you come together, you can get some things done. They're fed up. Chicago especially is a powder keg. Okay? So keep your eyes open on that. Andrew, Kamala is in Puerto Rico. Yeah, who cares where she is? Who cares? But yeah, I told you, you're going to see her. Now that as it gets closer and closer to November, you're going to see her out dancing and rapping and all this other crap. Don't fall for it, guys. Even Joe Biden, there was some rapper, some female rapper, I don't even know who she is. And he was hugging her and she was, oh, Joe Biden. I'm like, get out of here. So Jacqueline, yeah, that is hilarious. Cops in New York arresting landlords trying to evict squatters. Andrew, yes. How you doing, Lynn? Love you too, Lynn. Thank you, dear. Here, straight dope. All you get's the truth here. And again, I do my research. I don't use liberal outlets. I do not. Because I want to give you the truth. Steve, if you love life, stay out of Chicago. Yeah, I want no part of Chicago. Bread and circus, yeah. How you doing, Red Sky Winter? If my landlord died, does that mean I have to pay rent? Well, since you're an American, yes, you still have to pay it. Now, if you come across the border illegally, then everything's good. You do what you want. Andrew, did I gloss it over, Andrew? I'm trying to keep up with these comments. Ruby said Tyson has placed a statement on their website. Right, Ruby? Ruby's keeping up with this. They are in full damage control mode. But guess what? They didn't know. They thought they were going to do this, and they thought that we were just going to roll over and die. No, we're going to cancel you. Okay? How you doing, Ironwood Workman? He was sniffing her, asking where her kids were. Yeah, Ironwood, God bless him. Okay, where are we? Hair, okay. Snoodle, the National Guard building up small towns for eclipse, and FEMA is saying they are expecting fires at industrial places. Last year they burned down multiple produce places. Oh, wow, okay. Didn't know that. Ruby, all politics is local. Hold mayors, aldermen, councilmen, and the like responsible. Vote them out. Ruby gets it. Oh, yeah, Andrew, I know. Anything Kamala does not amaze me or shock me. She's just a puppet. We've talked about that. She's a puppet that's been placed in front of us. How you doing, Mr. Dingle? Hello. Hit all of you in here. Hit that little thumb. That thumb is the little like button. Share this out. And again, folks, how you doing, Trapper Johnny? Bless you too. We have to get the word out. Americans are being replaced, right? If you've noticed, the liberals are not doing anything for anyone who is an American. And Iowa, folks, it's in Iowa now. Where will it be tomorrow? All right, so don't let this go. Stand up. Love Trump, dumb puppet. Exactly. Snoodle Girl, creating a food shortage with laws that are shutting down food producers. Right, Snoodle. Exactly. Yeah, Ruby gets it. Jay says, I don't recognize my country anymore. Jay, none of us do. Red Sky Winter, I want to resign my citizenship. Okay. Teach me how. Okay, Red Sky. So guys, we have to remain vigilant. And I don't care that, when an American company is busted, we still can't let them off the hook. Okay. Had Americans not stood up and talked about a boycott, do you think that, they were going to change anything? No. Where are you going to run to? Right. It's I don't know. Snoodle Girl, it's not just here. It started in Europe. Good example, Tommy Robinson in England when he stood up to grooming gangs. Yeah. Betty, I was always Indian. She was never black until she ran for went with the president. Exactly. If people would do a little research, and that's a problem with Americans, they do not read, you could find out a lot. Instead of playing games on your phone, how about doing a little research? Yeah, share. Everyone who's in here, please hit that little thumb, that little like button. And that's all I wanted to share with you, basically. If you want, I can come back on. I mentioned earlier, Chicago, black and white, Hispanic Chicagoans are coming together against the tyranny of Brandon Johnson. Okay? They are fed up. I told you, I've been telling you for weeks, Chicago is a powder keg. Anything that happens there, I will not be shocked. How you doing, MC? I believe those student loans that were paid out to the people would have to pay them back because it was illegal from the Supreme Court. Okay, Love Truck. All people need to unite and stand up to save our country from this evil. Good point, Love Truck. Peace to you, Red Sky. If you want to re-sign your citizenship, you have to leave the country. Okay, Ironwood. Okay, take care, everyone. Okay, thanks for dropping in, Ironwood. So yeah, guys. Chicago is a powder keg. I don't know what's going to happen in Chicago, okay? But just stay tuned. Venezuela is safe. All their gangs are here. Ruby, you were here in the beginning when I started this series. Venezuela, they unlocked their prison doors and told their prisoners to run to the American border, and that's just what they did. So we're seeing the repercussions of that now. How you doing, Vlad? It's worldwide. We're going to need to push down hard against it. Yeah. Andrew, I'm a white man who loves black people who are awake, not woke. Okay. Jay, get your heart. So yeah, Ruby, they sent all the criminals over here. And I shared with you a video last week, that guy on TikTok. He's bragging about how Americans are taking care of him and his little girl. And I mean, it's crazy. Baltimore is the same way. Been all the liberal cities. They're horrible places to live. They're all third world countries. And so, no, I would not want to live in any of those, okay? One Nation Underground. New subscriber. Saw your comment on Forbes' video about the Chicago City Council meeting. Thank you so much, One Nation Underground. One Nation Underground. Share this video on your various forms of social media. I'm trying to get the word out. They are trying to suppress the truth. If you type this subject matter, and even some of the subject matter about what's going on with the migrant crisis, that it will pop up that it is false, it is misleading. They are suppressing the truth. And we welcome all of you. Trapper Johnny, we all have to fix this. The Democrats, are against all Americans. Okay? They're not doing anything for any of us. So why are we going to be against our brother who has a different skin tone? Right? That doesn't make sense to me. Now, if you guys want me to come back on later and talk about, there was a city council meeting in Chicago. Black, white, everyone was, they were going off on Brandon Johnson. Now, if you want me to come back on later for about an hour maybe, how you doing, John Joyner? I can. One thing I'm so happy about Chicago, I'm so glad, like I said, I started watching the video. When I end this live, I'm going to finish watching. How you doing, Derek? I'm going to live in a red state. Yeah, Derek, I live in North Carolina, so this is definitely red. I'm good. Steve, like I said, this election is America versus Democrats. Steve gets it. One nation underground. Same here. Middle-aged white dude that loves all children of Christ and all patriots. Right. So, like I said, yeah, Ruby gets it. Ruby, I did a video and I mentioned he had to go to the hospital for panic attack. He was having anxiety attacks. He's going to have some more. These people are not, Chicagoans of all races and colors are fed up that non-American citizens have been placed before them. And as they should. Taxpayers are put on the back burner. Not able to access anything. That's not right. So anyway, I'll sing a little song for you before I go. Now, if you're a Generation Xer like I am or older, you're very familiar with this song. I'll sing this song from Carole King, one of my favorite all-time songs in the world. 1971, Tapestry. Those of you, if you know what I'm talking about, type it in the comment section. Classic album. Now, some of these artists, I don't care about their politics, but I love good music. Well, it's too late, baby, now it's too late. Though we really did try to make it. Something inside has died and I can't hide and I just can't fake it. Oh no! Now, if you know that song, that's some good music. Let me see. New York, Muff Moon, how are you? Katrina, I asked my son not to buy wings. He's a thoughtful guy, so he skipped the Kroger brand. Okay, good. Sandra, all right, Sandra gets it. Yes, I remember that song. Sandra, I love Carole King's music. Yes, dear. Yes. Rose said, "Come on back on." Ben Dover, that's not Carly Simon. I think I held up Carly Simon. I have Carly Simon's Greatest Hits album. Yes, Lady Lever remembers. That's Carole King from 1971. That Tapestry album. Oh, I love it. I have it around here somewhere. How you doing, Ash? I love my Generation X folks. We had some of the best music from all genres. Yes. Muff Moon, thanks so much. 70's the best. Sally gets it. Yay. Generation X rules. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll come back on later. David Bowie. Ooh. Fa, 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 fa. Fa, 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 fa. Fashion. I could go on with David Bowie. I cried when David Bowie died. Oh my God. I have so many of his songs on my Apple playlist. Yeah, Generation X is the best. One Nation Underground. So guys, yeah, I've enjoyed you. I'm going to give you each some time. If you're like me, you're getting ready for work tomorrow, go ahead and get your stuff ready. I'll come back on and talk about how wonderful it is that Chicagoans of all races and colors are coming together to stand against the tyranny of Brandon Johnson. Andrew Bowie, awesome. Lambert, yeah. Steve, I put a spell on you. Yes, yes, yes. Katrina, Roland, I thank you for your show. Hey, everyone, go to the physical bank and see how it's full of foreign. Yeah, I know it. Sandra, hey, Queen. How you doing, Queen? Sandra. Thank you so much, John Joyner said you're doing a wonderful job. Keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Muff Moon, I bet you. Oh, I sang that 2 videos ago. I bet you think this song is about you. Don't you, Carly Simon. Oh, I have the greatest. Check my video from last week. I actually held up I have her greatest hits album. Yes, I'm that old. Betty, Smokey Robinson's always been my favorite. Being with you. Yes. Chicago. Yes, I love Chicago. I have some of Chicago's songs in my playlist too. Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow? Yes. One Nation Underground. Beatles. I like the Beatles, but the Stones were my favorite rock group. One Nation. Yes, Gina, I love you, dear, for coming in. Gap Band. Outstanding. Girl, you knocked me out. I'm a music guru. I love every genre. I listen to bluegrass and R&B and rock. I have the Carpenters' greatest hits. I have Earth, Wind, and Fire. I have it all. Florida, see you later, Miss Roland Cha-Cha. Yes, thank you so much. Love you all. Mwah. Thanks for coming out. Everyone go ahead and get prepared. I may come on for 30 minutes. Just depends on how many people are in the live. Share this out if you like this content. I enjoyed all of you. And we'll go ahead and shut this down. And hopefully see you all. Okay, so it's almost 5 o'clock now. Maybe 6:30-ish. We can come back on. And you too. And those of you who have comments, when I end the live, I'll come in the comment section and answer some of those for you. Thank you so much, and I enjoyed you all. Hope to see you about roughly 6:30-ish back here at the Roland Reviews YouTube channel. Thank you so much.